Hello, and welcome to week 5 of online learning. That is insane. I feel like every time I start a week, I just am baffled at the fact that we're still doing this. Like when we first left school, I was like, oh, this is going to be like a couple of weeks, maybe 1 week post spring break, and then we'll be back into the swing of things. And now this is just what we do now. And I assume this is what we're going to do for the rest of the year. Speaking of the rest of the year, we are completely done with learning grammar related things. So we have covered every single part of speech and pretty much everything in between, all the way back from when Miss Pulley was teaching you through when I took over. We have covered every single feature of grammar. So you should feel very, very proud of yourselves that we have made it this far in the year. That says a lot about kind of where we are in the school year because we only have like one big thing left. Originally, I had planned for this persuasion unit to not take very long, just because the eventual product we will produce is just a persuasive essay. But then I realized that with having, give or take, a month left of school and it being online, that I could just extend this unit and make it the very last thing that we do. If for some reason we do go back to school, I think that if I get that news early enough, I will accelerate the writing process so that we can come back and actually do the next thing that I had planned for us to do, which was literary analysis. But knowing that you will also do that next year in 10th grade lit, I'm not too worried about it. Don't tell Miss Pulley I said that, because I really think that you guys will delve into that in much more detail next year. So if we have to take the rest of the school year to do just persuasion, I would be happy with that because persuasion is a huge skill and it takes a lot of detail to kind of go through and know the steps. And when we get into the essay writing, it's like all this research. So I don't want to rush through it, especially considering that we are not all together to work on it in the classroom. So that was a very long rant about persuasion. Let's talk about persuasion, right? So I want to give you a little introduction to persuasion before we really jump into the nitty gritty of it. So this is persuasion day 1, what persuades us? Here's a little bit of context. As we go into writing a persuasive essay, it is really important to think about what convinces or persuades people. I think it was 1 or 2 weeks ago, I asked you in your Flipgrid to tell me what persuades you. And a lot of you guys were like, well, when people present facts, that's persuasive to me. When people bribe me with food or money, that's persuasive to me. And yes, those are all like very everyday things that persuade people. So I totally agree with that. But when you go to persuade your audience and you write your persuasive essay, I also asked you to think about the ways that you persuade people, because that's what you're going to be doing in your essay, which I will talk way more about next week. I don't want to get too far into it yet. But today I want to think a little bit about how we are persuaded in our everyday lives, just so that we can get a better understanding of how, like on a very real level, we can persuade other people. So persuasion is all around us. You know this. You showed me this in your Flipgrid. It's in our everyday lives, our parents, siblings, friends, and teachers all the time. We're, trying to get our sibling to maybe clean our room for us, do our dishes for us, or we're trying to get our parents to let us have some extra computer time at night, whatever it may be. You do persuade people in a very casual way. We also see it on a higher scale with TV commercials and social media ads. Like I was talking about in my Flipgrid, every time I go on any social media, it's like every other post is an ad. That's the way that we are persuaded in everyday life in this new technology-based world. So we're seeing a lot more social media stuff. Newspapers, it's a little outdated. Billboards, those still exist. Product packaging, it's a big one, and many, many more things that they kind of just slip in on us for persuasion. So it's everywhere. Here's what we're going to do today. This is the sole assignment for the day, really just thinking about the real life ways that we are persuaded. So I made a little chart to talk about the ways that I was persuaded literally just yesterday. When I have you guys do this, you can do it, of course, across the course of many days, but I did it just yesterday because I had a lot of them. So I did 3 columns here. Who was doing the persuading? What did he, she, or it, because it could have been an ad or something, want me to do or believe? And then was it a success or a failure and why? So charting out these 3 things really helps us to get a good feel for what things or people persuade us, what people or things often try to get us to do or think, and were their methods successful or not, and why, right? That's the art of persuasion. So first one, my sister wanted me to help her apply for a school loan because I am the expert on all of those things. So I was the first to go to college. And it was a failure because I was too busy planning this lesson for you guys. You're welcome. Next one, my boyfriend wanted to get some Mexican takeout for dinner. It's my fave. And of course I said yes because he offered to pay. Like, not going to turn down free burritos. That's never going to happen in my world. An email from a political campaign wanted me to donate to a particular presidential candidate. And I said yes, it was a success because they offered to send me a bumper sticker in exchange for a $5 donation. I thought that was a pretty good deal. Like, I like this candidate, I wanted to donate anyway, and now you're going to give me a thing in exchange? Heck yeah. My last one, an Instagram ad, wanted me to buy some jeans from American Eagle. And it was a failure because I already have enough jeans, right? Just a silly little ad is not going to convince me to buy jeans when I don't need jeans. So if we look at the art of all of these successes and failures, a failure because I was too busy to do the thing that I was being convinced to do and there was really nothing in it for me, that kind of shows how just doing something as a favor for someone isn't always successful in persuasion. Getting the food was a success because there was money involved and I didn't have to give any money to get the food. It was free. With the email to donate, that was a success because I got something in exchange for giving my money. So it was a two-way little thing there I was persuaded by. And then the ad was a failure because it wasn't something that I needed. And they weren't able to convince me that I did need it, right? So there are a lot of different ways that we are persuaded, and it really just depends on how it is done and what is offered in exchange. Obviously, when you write your essay, you're not going to say, Dear Principal of Higher Ground Academy, I will offer you $10 million to let us wear hats in school. Like, no, you're not going to do that. You're going to present facts and statistics and things, but it's interesting to think about the ways that we are convinced and persuaded in our lives. So, very short, I want you to do the exact same thing. I want you to follow the link in the Monday folder, and it will bring you to that very same page that you got when we did the Google activity last week. It'll tell you to make a copy. That is so that everyone gets their own slide and you're not all typing into the same thing, right? So you'll make the copy. You'll have your own slide. It won't look exactly like this. It'll look similar. It'll have who's doing the persuading, what they want you to do or believe, was it a success or failure, and you'll do 3. So you'll just fill it out, share it back to me at hollowaycourtney@gmail.com, and then you are done for the day. Of course, if you have already answered the check-in question. So very easy day today. Just wanted to get you guys really thinking about persuasion on a tangible level. And then going forward this week, we will actually look at an actual piece of persuasive writing and kind of analyze it and learn about the different elements that go into persuasion. So look forward to that. And for now, all you have to do is do your slide. So get it done, and I will see you tomorrow.